Hi everyone, so we will continue with two-dimensional arrays. In the last video, that is arrays part 2, we have seen how to add two matrices and how to subtract two matrices. So today we will learn how to transpose a matrix. So the topic for today is we will learn how to write a program to transpose a matrix. So let us see transpose of a matrix. Now before I explain you all the code, I will explain the logic of the code with the help of an example. Now we can say a matrix is transposed when we interchange the rows and columns. That is, after transposing, the rows will be the columns and the column will become the rows. Another thing we need to know that when we transpose a matrix, the dimensions also will change. Say for example, we have a 2 by 3 matrix. 2 by 3 matrix meaning it has 2 rows and 3 columns. So after transposing, we will get a 3 by 2 matrix, that is, it will have 3 rows and 2 columns. The reason we get this is because we interchange the rows and columns. We'll take another example. Now say suppose you have a square matrix. Square matrix meaning the number of rows and the number of columns are the same. So suppose if you have a 2 by 2 matrix, then after transposing, we will get a 2 by 2 matrix. So in this case, we can see that the dimensions are not changed. So if it is a square matrix, then the dimensions will remain the same. But if it is not a square matrix, then the dimensions will change because we interchange the rows and the columns. So let us see this example. Let's say suppose we have a matrix A which has 2 rows and 2 columns, and after transposing, we will store the result in matrix T, which will again have 2 rows and 2 columns. Because it is a square matrix, so the dimensions won't change. Now consider the elements of matrix A are 10, 20, 30 and 40. That is, the elements of the first row are 10 and 20 and the second row will be 30 and 40. Now after transposing, the elements of the first row, that is 10 and 20, will become the elements of the first column of this matrix T. So elements of the first column of matrix T will be 10 and 20. And elements of the second row, that is 30 and 40, will be the elements of the second column of matrix T. So elements of second column of matrix T will be 30 and 40. So after transposing, matrix T will have elements as 10, 30, 20 and 40. So in the code, we will take a two-dimensional array named as A, and we have already seen in the previous video that the rows and columns always start from 0. So this will be the 0th row, this will be the first row, this will be the 0th column and this will be the first column. Now this position is A of 0, 0 because this is the 0th row and this is the 0th column. Similarly, this position is A of 0, 1 because this is the 0th row and this is the first column. Similarly, this position will be of 1, 0 and this position will be A of 1, 1. Now consider we have inserted elements as 10, 20, 30 and 40. So 10 will be stored at position A of 0, 0, 20 at A of 0, 1, 30 at A of 1, 0 and 40 at A of 1, 1. So after transposing, we will store the result in a two-dimensional array T, which will have 2 rows and 2 columns, and we know that rows start from 0 and columns start from 0. So this position will be T of 0, 0, this will be T of 0, 1, this position will be T of 1, 0 and this will be T of 1, 1. Now when we transpose, the elements of the 0th row of matrix A will become the elements of the 0th column of matrix T. So this T of 0, 0 will become 10, T of 1, 0 will become 20. And then elements of the first row of matrix A will become the elements of the first column of matrix T. So T of 0, 1 will become 30 and T of 1, 1 will become 40. So elements of matrix T after transposing will be 10, 30, 20 and 40. So we can see that element at position A of 0, 0, that is 10, will be stored at position T of 0, 0 after transposing. Similarly, the element at position A of 0, 1, that is 20, will be stored at position T of 1, 0 after transposing. So if we compare both these positions, that is A of 0, 1 and T of 1, 0, we can see that the indexes are just reversed. So originally, if the element was present at position 0, 1, then after transposing, it will be stored at position 1 0. Similarly, the element at position A of 1 0, that is 30, will be stored at position T of 0 1 after transposing. So if you look at both this position, this is A of 1 0 and this is T of 0 1. So the indexes are just reversed. Similarly for this one, the element at position A of 1 1, that is 40, will be stored at position T of 1 1 after transposing. Now here in this case, even if we reverse the indexes, it won't make any difference because it is the same. So the main formula which we'll be using in the code is T of ij equal to A of ji, where I and j are the indexes. So we can see that the indexes are reversed. So let us see the code. First we write the header file, then the program will start from the main function. Then we will declare all the variables which we are using in the code. First we have declared an integer variable r which will hold the number of rows, and an integer variable c which will hold the number of columns. Then these two variables I and j will be used inside the loops. Then we have declared a two-dimensional array A. The maximum number of rows is 10 and the maximum number of columns is 10. Then we have declared another two-dimensional array T which will hold the values after transposing. The maximum number of rows is 10 and maximum number of columns is 10. Then it will ask the user to enter the rows and columns. So whatever rows the user enters will be stored in this variable R, and whatever columns the user enters will be stored in this variable C. So this side I'll explain it in an example. So suppose user enters R as 2 and C as 2, meaning the number of rows will be 2 and number of columns will be 2. Now in this case, since R and C value is the same, we can say it is a square matrix. So next we will ask the user to enter the elements of the matrix. How to enter elements in a two-dimensional array, I have already explained in detail in the video two-dimensional arrays part 1. So if you don't know how to enter elements in a two-dimensional array at runtime, please go through the video two-dimensional arrays part 1. So here I will just explain in brief. In order to enter elements in a two-dimensional array, we will use a nested for loop. The outer for loop will start from I equal to 0 because the rows in two-dimensional array start from 0. It will go on till I less than r, where r is the number of rows. The inner for loop will start from j equal to 0. We initialize to 0 because the columns also start from 0. It will go on till j less than c, where c is the number of columns. So till this condition is satisfied, it will take a value from the user using scanf and store in this two-dimensional array A. Say suppose user enters elements as 10, 20, 30 and 40. So 10 will be stored at position A of 0, 0, 20 at A of 0, 1, 30 at A of 1, 0 and 40 at A of 1, 1. Now since user has entered R value as 2 and C value as 2, there are 2 rows and 2 columns. And since rows start from 0, this will be the 0th row, this will be the first row. And columns also start from 0, so this will be the 0th column and this will be the first column. Next we need to transpose the matrix. So using this nested for loop, we will transpose matrix A, store the result in matrix T and simultaneously print the transposed matrix. Now one thing we need to know here is that if we transpose a square matrix, then the dimensions won't change after transposing. So suppose you transpose a 2 by 2 matrix, then after transposing we will get a matrix of dimension 2 by 2 itself. So if you transpose a square matrix, the dimension won't change. But if it is a non-square matrix, then after transposing the dimensions will change. That is, if you are transposing a 2 by 3 matrix, then after transposing you will get a 3 by 2 matrix. So the number of rows will become the number of columns and the number of columns will become the number of rows. So we need to handle both the cases, that is for a square matrix as well as for a non-square matrix. As a result, the outer for loop will start from I equal to 0. It will go on till I less than C, where C is the number of columns. See here we are not taking I less than R. The reason is because if it is a non-square matrix, then after transposing the dimensions will change. That is, the rows will become, the number of rows will become the number of columns and number of columns will become the number of rows. As a result, in the outer for loop we have taken I less than C. Then inside the inner for loop, we have initialize j equal to 0. It will go on till j less than r, where r is the number of rows. Now this is the main statement which is used for transposing. We transpose by reversing the indexes. That is, we can say this is ij and this is ji. And simultaneously we will print the transposed values. So let us see this nested for loop with the help of an example. First we initialize I value to 0. So I will be initialized to 0. Then it will check if I is less than C. So it will check if 0 is less than 2. The reason we take 2 because number of columns is 2. Now 0 is less than 2 condition is satisfied. So it will initialize j value to 0. That is, this j will be initialized to 0. Then it will check if j is less than r. So it will check if 0 is less than 2 because the number of rows is 2. 0 is less than 2, the condition is satisfied. So it will execute this statement, that is t of ij is equal to a of ji. Now I value is 0 and j value is 0. So we will get t of 0 0 equal to a of 0 0, which means that the value at position a of 0 0 will be assigned to position t of 0 0. Now value at position a of 0 0 is 10. So this 10 will be assigned to position t of 0 0. So we can see that we have got 10 at this position, that is t of 0 0. So after executing this statement, it will print the element at t of ij. Now I and j value is 0. So it will print the element at position t of 0 0. So it will print this 10. So it will print this 10. Then the inner for loop will increment. So j value will become 1. So again it will check if 1 is less than 2. 1 is less than 2 condition is satisfied. So it will execute this statement. So we will get t of 0 1 equal to a of 1 0. T of 0 1 because I value is 0 and j value is 1. And in this case it is a of ji. So j value is 1 and I value is 0. Which means that the value at position a of 1 0 will be assigned to position t of 0 1. Value at position a of 1 0 is 30. So this value will be assigned at position t of 0 1. So we can see that we have got 30 over here. And then it will print the element at position t of ij. So it will print element at position t of 0 1. So it will print this 30. After that again inner loop will increment. So j value will become 2. So again it will check if 2 is less than 2. Now 2 is not less than 2. So the inner loop will terminate. Now once the inner loop terminates, we can see that the elements of the 0th row have been printed. So we can see that elements of the 0th row, that is this 10 and 30, will be printed. So after inner loop terminates, we have printed a /n. The reason we print a /n is because we need to print the output in the form of a matrix. So after printing elements of this 0th row, the next element should be printed on the next line. As a result, we have printed this /n over here. Then the outer for loop will increment. So I value will become 1. So again it will check if 1 is less than 2. Now 1 is less than 2, so the condition is satisfied. So the inner loop will start from 0 again. So j value will become 0. So it will check if 0 is less than 2. Now 0 is less than 2 condition is satisfied. So we will get t of 1 0 equal to a of 0 1. T of 1 0 because I value is 1 and j value is 0. Here we get a of 0 1 because j value is 0 and I value is 1. So the value at position a of 0 1 will be assigned to position t of 1 0. Value at position a of 0 1 is 20. So this 20 will be assigned to position t of 1 0. And then it will print the element at position t of 1 0. So this 20 will be printed. Next j value will be incremented. So j value will become 1. Again it will check if 1 is less than 2. 1 is less than 2 condition is satisfied. So we will get t of 1 1 equal to a of 1 1. 1 1 because I value is 1 and j value is 1. So this value at position a of 1 1, that is 40, will be assigned to position t of 1 1. So we can see that we have got 40 over here. And then it will print the element at position t of 1 1. So this 40 will get printed. Then again inner loop will increment. So I value will become 2. So it will check if 2 is less than 2. 2 is not less than 2, so the inner loop will terminate. Now once this inner loop terminates, we can see that elements of the first row have been printed, that is 20 and 40 will be printed. So this 20 and 40 are printed. Then it will print a /n, and then after that again the outer for loop will increment, so I value will become 2. So again it will check if 2 is less than 2, so the outer for loop condition is not satisfied. So this condition itself is not satisfied, so the entire nested for loop will terminate. So after this nested for loop, we can see that we have transposed matrix A, stored the result in matrix T, and also we have printed the elements of this transposed matrix. Finally, we have written this return 0 statement here because we have int main and main returns an integer value. So over here I have taken an example for a square matrix, but this code will transpose a square matrix as well as a non-square matrix. So if asked for exams, you all just need to write this code. This explanation I have given so that you will understand the code. So the output of the code will be, first it will ask the user to enter number of rows and columns. I have entered RS2 and CS2. Then it will ask the user to enter elements of the matrix. I have entered 10, 20, 30 and 40. 10 will be stored at position A of 0, 0, 20 at A of 0, 1, 30 at A of 1, 0 and 40 at A of 1, 1. And finally it will print the transpose matrix. Thank you so much for watching.